Hey, everybody. Good morning and welcome to a special edition of Epic Time. I am out in South Dakota heading to the rally. And, so naturally, first thing I do when I wake up is check my tracker and see what's going on. And I saw some really cool shit going on. And I wanted to share it with some people. So I'm going to just share this show so everybody can see it and we'll be good to go. There we go. But anyhow, let me share my screen here so I can go over something because I don't know, I think this is really epic and this is what this is all about. Let's go. Here we go. So last night, I'm gonna touch on a few things just to get this rolling. But I'm pretty impressed here with Teeter, who is rolling out in the lead. He went back, if you remember, he went back in the UP because there was a really tricky spot, and he went back and fixed that. But that was hundreds of miles that he had to do to go back to fix it, and I thought that was mad crazy. He was across the UP, middle of the UP, and had to go back to the high point. And I thought that was pretty impressive to do. And then he made up all that ground, and now he's leading the way. And I was laughing because he happens to be on a road that I know very well because when I spelt out Mile Monsters Inc. Across the United States this spring, this is the road that I went on. So the road that they're on right now is the same road. So I can literally picture right where he's at, what they're doing. We got Dirty Dan right behind them, all the way back to Marky Mark, taking that 6 across. So that is County Road 6 they're on in northern Pennsylvania. And it's pretty, really a cool road. But it's really funny because it's so fresh in my mind. And if I would have thought about those guys being on it, I would have pulled some pictures and video from the very road they're on. See if I can get any kind of picture. Of course, where he's at, there we go. But it's little towns, little old mining towns, mill towns, from back in the day. But it's really a fun little road. So I'm glad they're on it. And, this front group is all a bunch of badass riders. We got all the way up to anyone right there is, doing just one hell of a job. Really, right here, anybody you see is really doing a hell of a job. But Teeter, like I said, had gone back to fix that part of the ride. And that's really what I wanted to have a show about this morning, because yesterday when we were doing a show, there was a rider that was on the interstate, and I don't know, banging on him, like, knew that something was up. Thought, well, maybe he tapped out. Maybe he did something. Maybe he's going home. Maybe he's got a bike getting fixed, whatever the case was. But I knew that somebody riding on I-90 right here was not following the route. So I knew that was a problem. So this morning I woke up a couple hours ago and I wanted to check where that dude went to see if his bike was fixed. So you remember where he was yesterday when we had a show? Right over here somewhere, southern Michigan, northern Indiana. That dude went across. There's the area where it started right here, Woodstock. There's Milwaukee, all through Wisconsin. This is a long ways. Anybody who's traveled this up through Wisconsin, not even sure what roads we're on, but there I find Just Matt. There's Just Matt making things right. And I gotta say, I don't think I've ever been more impressed with a rider of the Hoka Hey ever. This is absolutely amazing. I don't know who Just Matt is. If anybody does and can give me some more details on that dude, I would love to know him. Because he just went a hell of a long ways out of his way to go back to get to make things right, so he can finish, so he can be a finisher, stand up there, whatever he comes in. But this is the idea of Hokahe. When they say Hokahe, it's having the integrity to do things, to finish the ride at any event. And I'm not sure, but I think this rider right here did the same thing. I just didn't catch it last night late. But if 1178 is one of the people that did the same thing, please let me know. If that's a friend of yours, whatever, send me a message, a private message, text me, whatever you want to do. Because I think this should be celebrated, to be honest with you. And it's not about what place you finish, it's how you ride your ride. And to go back, look at zooming out how far that is. Go back from here. I'm going to change this to a view I don't like, just for quick, keep things out of the way. But to go back from right here, the bottom of Michigan, all the way literally around Lake Michigan to the very tippy top of the UP. And I guarantee you it's cold up there, because I'm in South Dakota right now and it's chilly this morning. So it's cold, it's damp. All things would tell your brain, I'm done. I can't be a finisher. I realize I missed the UP. I missed a big chunk of that. There's no way I can make up 1,000 miles against the savage riders that are out there. But so all things in your brain would be like, I'm in first and now I'm in last. So your brain would just be telling you, let's go home. I'm done. To hell with it. I'm tapping out. I'll try this in 2028. The ball's on Just Matt. I don't know how he can ride. They got to be like just smashing him on his seat. So, I mean, I just want to know details about that dude, because that is freaking awesome. And I actually think, because I didn't see that other rider behind there, Ketsy. So I don't know who that is. And that might be somebody just had some bike trouble and be behind, but that seems like that might be somebody that went back for it as well. So it will be fun, because anybody that can go from the first right here, realize that as they're coming into Ohio, realize what they did and go back around and up to do that. I mean, that dude had to ride all through the night. So Just Matt, man, get a little rest today. You've impressed the world. Get a little bit of sleep and then continue on. But we will definitely be watching that guy as he is ripping it. Some other people we got that rode through the night that have been doing very well. Got Teeter, who rode. He didn't sleep much, because he was, after making up that time, he was back in the pack a bit, and now he's out in the front. Another one I just noticed is another monster, Rollo. I just saw her name right here. Rollo be riding. Rollo is a really good rider and likes to ride at night. And she told me she was going to be riding during the night. And clearly she did. Because she went from who was she with last night? Let's see if we can find somebody. She was right back here last night. So this is the area of people she was with when they, last evening, maybe 8 o'clock last night, 9 o'clock, something like that. After the show, she was back with this group. So they would have been up here somewhere. So that's a pretty good rip through the night. We got Raindrop here enjoying the lake. I don't know what the temperature is through there right now, but it's chilly here, and I was surprised. But it's so funny to see this like a seesaw action. Everybody, how this route has them down, up, down, up, down. Looks like the little lifeline thing, like on my sticker, the EKG thing. But anyhow, I don't know, pretty impressive. If you remember where they were last night, I actually took a picture of it, where the lead riders were when I went to bed. And I'm going to look at that right now and see where the lead riders were, because I wanted to get an idea what they were. They were in Cleveland. So last night, the leader was in Cleveland. So Cleveland is right there. So when I went to bed last night, the leaders were right here, and that wasn't even Teeter. So in the time I've been in bed and get going this morning, Teeter's way over here. So that's pretty awesome. I mean, this is what makes these top tier riders so fun to watch, is because it's so hard to understand how that could possibly be. And let's go to group 2. They're actually getting on their way to the checkpoint now, and that's pretty badass. But here comes Voss, English, let's see, the original, Loco, Pee-wee. That is a group of riders that is just killing it. You know, I don't know how the hell they're doing it. Well, actually, I know how the hell they're doing it, and it's insane. But to think, last night when I went to bed, they were down by Houston. So they were down here when I went to bed. Get up a few hours later and, sleep in, take a shower, and, go get gas and then check it, and they're here. So their night was a lot shorter than mine. And it's pretty awesome. But that just, Voss, Yas, he just keeps on going. I keep saying Voss but it's a Y. It's Yas. And the mile leader. And English and the original Loco is a lot of miles. And of course, there's Chrisman. He's always going to be up in the front, no matter what. But look at that pack of riders right here, all the way down. I didn't pay attention to what their furthest west and furthest. Yeah, so this is far west and south as they came. And what a difference in landscape between this rider right here. Okay, you get a look at that. There's Doo-Doo heading through some town, but you're not going to see anything green down there. There's no grass. There's no nothing. And then you jump up to the northern group and, pick whoever this is. Ren. I got it by the pool. So that's pretty awesome. I guess we're not going to see any scenery. There we go. Green grass, trees, everything rocking. So it's pretty awesome to see it. The difference, and a lot of people they don't know what to think about this two groups, because they don't know, who's leading. They can't figure out who's leading, who's really in front. And be honest with you, I don't know either. And I don't think you're going to see who's in front until they get to the halfway point. So they're going to go to their respective checkpoints, and then they're going to work their asses back to Woodstock, and then they're going to flip-flop. I would assume that's what they're doing. I guess I don't know for sure, but I would guess that's what they're doing. If they go from this checkpoint, if they go from Rhode Island to Mississippi, and these guys go from Mississippi to Rhode Island on the same route, that is going to be chaos and bedlam, as 135 riders on the same roads passing each other. You'll never know when you're going the right way, the wrong way. It would be really hard to follow, but really kind of entertaining to watch, because it would be so funny. So let's see. We got rider 924. I'll hit that up quick. 924. Adam, where you at? Adam is in the southern group because actually, this is just in town. So let's see where Adam is. He's at a dealership. Where is he at? Okay, he headed over to a dealership way out there. And I'm guessing whatever he needed, they had. Parts, whatever it is, because looks like he's getting something. He's at Legacy Harley. So Adam is at Legacy Harley, and I don't think he's there to get a coin or a chip or a t-shirt. I don't think he's shopping on this, so he's getting something done and getting it rolling, and I think he needed a clutch, so we'll go with that. So somebody probably had his parts. It's hard to get parts sometimes in these. You the simple things they always have, but some of these things they don't have so simple. And somebody asked who is in Odessa. And Odessa is got to get my bearings where I'm at here. I thought Odessa was further out towards not far from El Paso, but is that what they're talking about? That might be. Oh yeah, that's Adam. Yeah, I was like, oh, is it Odessa way out here? Yeah, right where I just zoomed in. So whoever's wondering about Odessa, cut me some slack here. I'm not very bright to begin with, and getting up. Yeah, this is fun. Somebody asks, you getting much sleep? Man, I'm sleeping like a baby. During these days, I'm used to getting 3 hours of sleep, and now I'm sleeping. I got like 6 hours last night. That's more than I sleep any other time. That is awesome. Let's check on my friend Frosty before I get going, because I'm not going to be here a long time explaining all this. We're going to be back at noon. But I was so impressed with Matt, that dude went all the way back and just had had what it takes. So man, I just can't wait to find any details about him. So if anybody knows who that is, please let me know. I'm anxious. There is Frosty, who we got riding with Frosty. So she was with Value and Rob, and they are still together. So these are three mega monsters to be clear, and that means a mega monster is somebody who goes above and beyond to help our heroes. That means they've done really epic things to help kids with a terminal disease. And there are three of our mega monsters. Frosty is the one who really runs Mile Monsters, so that's pretty awesome. And I love to watch, these two girls and Rob out there killing it, enjoying a ride and giving it their all. That's the key to this too. It's not all business. If you want to win this, it's all business. Sometimes you don't have any time to play. If you want to, you're not doing videos. If you're serious about winning it, you're not stopping and taking time to do videos and talking and calling the wife or husband or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is. You're just get up and ride. And if, other things are important to you, then you take time for that. But that takes time from you being on the bike, and, you suffer a little bit. So, you got to really make time for it. A few of these people are super skilled. I'm sure they're calling their wife and kids and saying goodnight and doing all that stuff while they're riding, while they're setting up camp, whatever it is. Teeter has a fistful of kids and a beautiful wife back home. I'm sure that he's calling them and saying hello, and I'm sure he's doing it while he's riding, while he's getting gas. He's going to multitask for sure. Marky Mark's another one. I know he'll be talking while he's riding. He gets on a straightaway, he'll make that call. These are riders who ride all the time. They know the deal. Dirty Dan, I know, is calling home, but they're skilled riders who do this all the time. Their bike is their office. They live on these things. People don't understand how much they're capable of doing because they've never done it. And like all things in life, people say that's not possible. And when something is not possible for you, that doesn't mean it's not possible for somebody else. There's a lot of things in life I can't do, but other people can, and they do them very well. And I'm like, damn, how is that possible? But it is. So too many people think, oh, that's not possible. Look at the old man. He says he rode 146,000 miles in 146 days, and people are like, bullshit. That's not possible. Nobody could do that, because their mind tells them, I can't do that. Instantly, their mind is telling them that can't be done. I can't do that. There's no way I could do that. And I'm the best rider in the world in their mind. So when they look at somebody doing something epic, if it's, the old man's ride they just did, or if it's, Dirty Dan's ride on a Pan Am to win the thing 2 years ago, or if it's, Yas's ride right now down south. people are like, oh, they can't do that. It can't be done. Nobody can go 2,000 miles on backcountry road in 2 days. Well, guess what? These elite riders, they can. They are doing epic shit. I mean, you're back here. Any of these riders from here all the way down, like any of them, they're all killing it. So when you're looking at the way out front, that's really killing it. Just insanity. All right, we got to check out one other rider here. We got to check out Gypsy. I want to see where Gypsy is riding. This is pretty cool little thing we got going right here. This is a mother-daughter team riding. Gypsy right there, 985. She is doing her fourth Hokahe. And she has yet to cross the finish line because the other 3 challenges, she's had some incredibly difficult times and some incredibly bad luck. And one year, her daughter crashed and totaled out her motorcycle, and mom, being mommy, is not leaving her side. So that was one year. And then another year, her motorcycle broke down. And another year, she had some health issues. But here is a mom and daughter team committed to crossing the finish line. And I think that's really awesome. They're two of our monsters again, but it's a great story. And the thing I love about having so many monsters ride in this is that I know their story. You look across this crew of this landscape of riders, there are hundreds of stories. Everyone has a story. Everybody has something to tell about their journey. And this is no different. I just know that story. I know the story of most of the people riding for Mile Monsters. That's the biggest difference. So I'm really, really super proud of anybody that's been doing this. And, Frosty's Adventures has a page, and it's fun to watch because she's a girl. She's small. She's cute. She has all things that you do not think of as a biker. Like when people think biker, they think big, burly, tattooed, beards, and then you see her, little thing, cute little smile on a bike, and you do a double take. I ride with her all the time. I don't think anything of it, but her and her husband both out there killing it down the highway, and you would never know. She wears a full face helmet. She rips by you. You would never know. She's getting impatient trying to pass people when we're out on rides because she rides. She's a beast. And it's so fun to see that. There's so many people involved with the Hokahe now that are just, you gotta look around and be like, wow. And people out there killing this, from tiny little girls to old guys. I won't name any names. I'm calling people old out here, but Jim and Gopher, you're out there killing it. But I won't name their last names. How's that? and Gopher, he only has old on his license, but riding, he's out there killing it like a little youngster. So it's kind of fun to watch. But everybody has a story. If anybody wants to share a story, you can share it with me. I'll share it with the world, whatever. And it's awesome. And with somebody here, it is so much fun. And I tell you what, like, you want to ride, and you did 400 miles in 2 days. You know what? Everybody starts somewhere. I used to ride, and I would go for a 100-mile ride. Then I went for a 200-mile ride. I got into long distance riding because I didn't have time or money. So I had to, hurry to get somewhere. I wanted to go to Texas to party, but I had to get back for work, kids, whatever it was. So I'd haul ass down there, whoop it up for the weekend, and then haul ass back and do, talk about my terrible choices, whatever. And this is a prime example. Here's my man Craig. You have to do 200 a day before you do 250. So that's just awesome. And everybody, any of these riders out here, I don't care who they are, they didn't get on a bike and say, I'm going to be 1,000-mile-a-day rider for 10 days. That doesn't happen. That just, you work up to that and work up to being a rider. And, you have to get your bike set up, your body conditioned, and you're good to go. And, that's just how it works. You got to have a bike set up. There's a reason why you look at these riders. I'll zoom out a little bit. There's 250 riders, 275, whatever it was. This whole sea of people, they all have a lot in common. They all have a way that they're getting water, a way to see the communications on them, the way that they can see at night, and a way that they can be comfortable. And that being comfortable, there's a million different seat makers, but most of these riders, if I don't know, maybe all of them, use a wild ass on top of their seat. So they're sitting, people like, I could never ride that far. I could never ride 500 miles a day. I hear people whine like that all the time. I look at their bike, I'm like, well, you got this really custom looking seat on there, really nice. That is nice, but you're setting yourself up for failure. Put a wild ass on the damn thing, get those pressure points gone, and you'll actually enjoy your ride. So it's fun to see that, but that's what it takes. Nobody starts out knowing those things. They learn them, and all these people have learned from somebody else. Some of them are watching the Hoka. Like, the Hoka's been around a hot minute. So some of these people got into long distance riding because they wanted to do this event. There's somebody at home right now that's thinking about this event. Now they're going to start long distance riding because in 28 or 30, they're going to want to ride this very event. Man, that's pretty epic right there. But again, if anybody's just tuning in, man, I did a special show because I wanted to talk about Just Matt, who went from Ohio, where he realized he made a mistake and didn't go up this road in the upper UP. So realizing he made a mistake and didn't go up there, left the route yesterday and took off and hauled ass all the way up Wisconsin, the entire damn state. He went right through here and right up through Milwaukee and all the way up. And as you see, it's going to be pretty fast rolling. You stay on these interstate highway kind of things. He could bomb it pretty good. But now you get up to here, there's no interstate bombing it across this line right here. Like, once you're up to the spur of Lake Michigan, now it's country roads, and you can see that thick green. That means it's all dense wooded forest. I mean, look at this, what it says: National Forest, State Forest, National Forest, State Forest, National Forest, State Forest. That's not telling you big cities. That's telling you ripping through the country, bear, deer, raccoon, coyotes, and there's timber wolves up here. So there is a wide variety of shit that dude had to deal with when he's tired. So keep just Matt in your prayers and your thoughts. Give him a high five. All things Just Matt are going to be pretty cool. Am I missing anything? So that's really awesome, and I'm really, really, happy to see everybody doing so good. Get up this morning. I mean, they are banging the checkpoint. Like, this checkpoint, they are getting close now, so they must be working their way right to the checkpoint. So that's going to be pretty awesome. And the checkpoint, I don't know exactly where it is, but it's right in here somewhere. I think it's right here. So that checkpoint is right here. They're getting close. Yas is he's going to be there, before noon for sure. He's going to be at that checkpoint. I don't know about our northern team, where they're gonna be. I know where that checkpoint is, but they are further from the checkpoint than that, I would think. I think the checkpoint's right in here somewhere. And the cool thing is that Rhode Island checkpoint is ready. They have every part you could think of. They got service ready, everything you're going to need for a bike. So this southern tier of people, they're going to be heading there for their third checkpoint. I think it's going to be awesome for them because that's the time you're going to need tires, oil, so half of this crew is going to be there, and the other half is going to be at Southern Thunder. And the third checkpoint is really where I found you're going to need some help, be it oil changes, tires. I've never made a Hoka in ever that I've had a set of tires survive the entire ride. And I've had friends like my friend Twister who rode from home to the starting line, did the whole ride, and I think she rode home on her set of tires. So I think our riding styles are just enough separate that I'm a little harder on it. But it's pretty crazy to think that somebody can get that many miles out of said tires and somebody else is that far off. So pretty cool. But that's all I got. I just want to hit on that. Yeah, here we go. Here's somebody right here that was just talking about what I was talking about. I'm one that hopes to do it in 2028. My longest day has been 10 hours, but I wasn't ready to stop. Looking forward to getting going. And that's awesome, man. I wish you well. You need anything, you hit me up. I'll gladly help you with anything you need to get to the point you can do this, and not only do it, but excel at it. I've always been one that says the Hoka is not a summer tour. You should give it 100%. What your 100% is skill wise and riding wise is different for every rider. So if I give it 100%, maybe different than somebody else's 100%. But as long as you prepare and get your mind, body, and bike ready to give it 100% for the entire ride, then you walk away from it with no regrets, nothing but happiness. This isn't the world's toughest challenge is not designed to be the world's longest summer cruise. You're not paying $1,000 to get directions so you can go on a summer cruise with your buddy and high five as you eat at the steakhouses and have a few cocktails at night and sit around and camp by the campfire. That's not this. In my opinion. Maybe in somebody else's opinion it is, but in my opinion, this is the world's toughest challenge. Give it 100%. 100%, you can still come in last place and be super proud because you crossed the finish line. You followed the directions. You didn't cheat. You didn't do anything. You didn't cut the course. You didn't sit and just follow a GPS, making sure you never missed a turn. You did it. So that's pretty good. Let's see what's somebody else saying. Mick 1184 is doing good. This is his second time, and he's the Frenchie from St. Martin. Let's see. Let's check where 1184 is doing. A lot of times it takes people their second or third, Hoka before they start kind of figuring out their sleep and how hard they can push and getting the confidence to know that, man, I can go a little harder. There he is right there. Let's see where he's at. He's doing great. He's doing really good because, he's in that bottom tier and he's into the part where it's starting to get green. So you can kind of tell he's doing pretty good. So, not pretty good. He's doing really good. He's heading out of Texas right now. That's I don't know how many miles he has on right now, but that's a lot of miles to do in 2 days. And now whatever he's done so far this morning, that is just awesome. Yeah, here's somebody, it's on the rider, but they often get sponsors and donations to help offset the cost. That is true. They talk about how much maintenance they do and how they pay for it. Somebody else is asking this, so I guess I can go in order. The maintenance work, they have to pay for it, or is it covered? It's not covered in the cost of the Hoka. The Hoka you're paying for is the adventure. Everything else is on you. So whatever that is, tires, whatever. But a lot of them fundraise ahead of time, and a lot of them get sponsors, get things. It's a lot of work. If you're going to do this in 28, as soon as this ends in 26, you start working towards that. I was sending out flyers, sending out mailers. My first one, I just sent out flyers to all kinds of businesses and donations, trying to raise money for the charity that I was riding for at the time before I started Mile Monsters. So, my goal was to raise money for the charity, and I paid for all of my needs. But I've had it over different Hoka I've had things paid for. I've went to dealerships during the Hoka and had tires put on and went to pay the bill, and they're like, somebody called in and paid it. There's been times I didn't even know who paid it. People that donated for gas. Venmoed for gas to fill up a tank. So, and that all comes from promoting yourself long before this thing starts. People are watching you. Like right now, I would love to get Matt's Venmo. I would love to buy him a tank of gas. That Just Matt that's up there. If anybody knows him, get me Matt's Venmo. I will make that public and people can donate a gallon or a tank of gas for him. That's a great way to do it. So promote yourself and do that, because, and you can get sponsors. This is not an event. It's not a pro event where they want people like NASCAR where you just get a bunch of sponsors and, that makes your bike fast, do whatever. But if you have people, there's all kinds of people who are giving suspensions, giving whatever it is, seats, bars, radios, cup holders, water holders, whatever it is, because people give it to them because they're promoting their items. It's that basic. So if you can get some free shit from somebody, I don't consider that sponsorship. Sponsorship is where they take your bike in and they set it all up and they're like, you just go ride it really hard and make sure all of this stuff is available for the public to see on it, and that's it. All the different colors on the maps, they pick those. If you're talking about the names, here's Hippie 2, black. Here's Andy's, red, yellow, pink. That's just people customizing their own tracker. That doesn't mean anything. But like Adam up here, where you see that means his bike is shut off. He stopped, it's shut off. The green, like right here, all that you see, I can zoom in a little bit so you see it, but all these ones that are green, that means their bike is on and it's moving. So that bike is moving and it is on its way. And you'll see them turn yellow a little bit. But these new trackers, it's a little bit funky, but they'll turn yellow, and that usually means the bike is running, but they're not moving. So you'll see that when they're stopping. If you see somebody's yellow, then they're just stopped and they're getting checking their directions or doing whatever they're doing. So that's what the colors mean. But all these colors on their names, anywhere you see their names, like here's Beastman is red. He picked that. He made his color red, and just for whatever reason, his favorite color, I guess. So, all right, Yas is coming in. Yas is going to be at that checkpoint pretty quick. And it's just, for me, it's really fun to watch because some of these places they're riding right now, I just rode on my 35,000 mile ride, spelling out Mile Monsters Inc. across the country. Like right here, this was my T in Monsters. So he's on the exact same road I was on. So it's fun because I can picture exactly what that looks like. I wasn't picturing that, but this is fun, so it's just fun to see it, fun to watch, fun to cheer these people on and understand what they're doing here. Go back and look at a map and see how far they went. We just went down to Southwest Texas, then all the way up at an angle through Oklahoma, Medicine Park, all the way up through, Missouri, Arkansas, and they were up into Illinois. So I don't know. I'm pretty impressed. If you're not impressed by this, then I don't know, man. Let me know. I want to see what impresses you, because this is really crazy and really, really cool. So yeah, I'm kind of jealous right now too, and I'm not even working and I'm super jealous. I can't even imagine how somebody feels at work when they're watching this. I'm actually, going somewhere filled with motorcycles and going to work the rally, but this is really cool. And yes, here's a great one right here. If the route goes by us, can we give them food or water? Yes. They don't want people getting like help outside help, from a bunch of people. You're supposed to meet them at checkpoints to do that thing. But if you set up a sign and you're just random riders, what they don't want is if it's going by somewhere and then somebody coming out and saying, hey, Riot, I got food and water for you. But if you go out there and riders are coming by and you just have a sign, man, go Hokahay. 4 times I've done this challenge, never once have I not stopped and talked to somebody on the side of the road. They're not even people, some of them I didn't even know. There was a lady and a kid that just had a Hokahay sign up on the side of the road in a minivan. And her husband had ridden it a couple of years ago, and she saw it was coming by. She just made a sign. It was pretty cool. So another time, Bubba in Texas just was on the side of the road. Hokahay riders, hey, Well, I see that, man. I stopped in, shook his hand, met him. He was a rider that I think he did the original one or the early ones. I don't remember. Bubba Vincent. And he had in the trunk of his car, he had a cooler and some chips. I drank a water and gave him a hug, and him and his wife, and I took off. And that was the first time I met him. And another time in New Mexico, some people were there to see somebody else. And, I just stopped and got a picture and said hi. If they gave me something, that was awesome. If not, I settled for a picture. So it's really cool to do it and see it and do that. So if you want to step out, make a sign, you see them coming by, you want to give them something, you want to give them a high five, whatever that is, you do that. It's awesome. So yes, Teeter is out front of Group 1. Yas is out front in Group 2. I mean, unless he got passed since we started this, but I don't even know. Yep, he's out front. He's out front. And then we got Ren coming up right behind, and right behind them is a few more. And I'm really anxious to see this because, there were some people who really, really messed up on their riding, and like Just Matt, who went back for it. I think there's going to be some disappointed people when they get to the finish line that, didn't go back and didn't fix it. And it's fun to watch it because so far I've seen Teeter go back, Iceman go back, now Just Matt, and I think that other rider might be somebody going back as well. They'd have to give me a heads up on that. Somebody that knows Ketsy, that would be good if we did. And I think it's froze up there. It's a little cloudy because Just Matt hasn't moved at all, and it's not red. So I think he's going to pop out somewhere over here. I think there's probably a spot here for whatever reason. There's an Air Force station, so they might have this GPS blocked, this little section here. I have no idea. Sometimes around the country, they'll GPS block things for a day, a week, a month, an hour, whatever that is. So I'm never surprised. And it's always something military, and it's always something we have no idea. Here's Iceman, who went to 3 different places yesterday to get some help on his bike. I don't know for sure what's going to happen with that. But he's just living the suck right now. So Iceman, if you're watching this, embrace the suck and enjoy Eastern Michigan that doesn't have anything to offer. But anyhow, let's see, where are we at? Because I got to go in here pretty soon. I can't even, there we go. Get rid of that. I think I don't know how many women, somebody asked how many women are on this, and I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't have those numbers. I'd like to find out. I could send Beth a text and ask her, but I know there's a lot. I'll say that a lot of these riders are women, and a lot of them are really good. So don't ever think that women can't do long distance riding or can't ride a Harley. So I think that's the crazy part, is some of these women are really goddamn good, and they're ahead of a lot of guys who ride Harleys all the time. So it's either, if you're a sexist and think women can't ride at all, you're just a jackass, because clearly they can, because you're watching them. They didn't get from Woodstock to wherever they're at, by not being able to ride really damn good. So it's really fun. And every year there's more and more women involved in long distance riding, and this event in particular. And I will not be surprised at all to see a lady win this at some point. And I do think that girls have a massive, massive disadvantage. I've said it countless shows, speeches, talks, everything I've done. They have a massive disadvantage, and it's called taking a leak. Like, people might laugh and be like, oh, that's funny. They're wearing Climb pants. Climb pants aren't exactly, they're super nice, but anything that's designed to keep the water out isn't designed to come off super easy and fast. A guy has to take a leak, they just stop their bike, step off, and take a leak. It's really that simple. if it's even that complicated. There's things you can use to, we'll talk about a different show. But girls have to stop, shed a bunch of shit, and go through effort to go to the bathroom. I said this before, Shell in 2024. If Shell didn't have to go through what she has to go through to go to the bathroom, she would have been, if not winning it, would have been in second place. And that is, I believe that 100%. She was behind by not enough that it wouldn't have changed. So that's the only thing that I think is a setback to lady riders, is a pain in the ass it is to go to the bathroom when you're in a hurry at these things. A guy can, like I said, just stop and go to the bathroom. In 2 seconds, you're off your bike, you're going to the bathroom. That's not the case for girls, especially the ones that 99% of these all wear gear, meaning climb pants, climb jackets, got suspenders. It's not easy. So it's all good. But let's see what else we got here. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I remember that. That was awesome. And I remember it because I didn't get a picture. A lot of times I get pictures in time to catch things. And if anybody out there spectating has a chance to make a sign, especially an individual sign, I can't believe it's like a drug. When you go by a stranger, a family, whatever, and there's a sign that says, go Marky Mark, go, or Marky Mark, we're cheering for you, or, just Matt, hey, Frosty, go Frosty, we're praying for you, pulling for you, whatever. That's an amazing boost to their day, especially coming off of a long day, a short night. Now you're going, it's like a drug, and it's really, really awesome if people do it. And there's people that ride and get pictures with people all the time. Like, these are public roads. There's no way anybody can say you can't ride. You just can't assist them. You can't pick somebody out. I wouldn't want somebody. And I tell you what, I don't encourage anybody to ride with them, because they're not riding that kind of ride. Like, their mind and body and bike are geared for this. So sometimes riding with somebody is really a distraction. I would recommend getting pictures as they pass by, or riding up behind them if they're out in the country and just getting a picture, but not really interacting with them a lot, because it's a distraction and you think you're having fun, and it is really fun for you because you're high on this. They're at over 2,000 miles. Like, they're in what they're doing. And I think it's, I wouldn't recommend it, but yes, you can, if that makes enough. And this is the fatigue day, and, the herd's going to thin out for sure. People were going to get shot. I really think that tomorrow and the next day really will get people. A lot of people can go 3 to 4 days, and then after that, they're done. And they're really going to drop back because their body is just done. It's the people who ride all the time and really get it geared up is really what it's at. So I got one more here and I got to get going. The most interesting bike you've seen complete the challenge, hands down, Hyde's Pan. Hyde's, what is it, 1948 Panhead. Hands down, the most incredible bike I've ever seen complete the challenge, without a doubt. I can't even think of another second. I know there was another hardtail that was in it, years ago, and I didn't talk to him, but I saw the comments in an interaction like this before. But if you go back to the 2024 OK challenge, go back and look some of that stuff up. When this is over with, if somebody wants to know, you get in touch with me. I'll get you the videos. I brag Hyde up. Hyde is riding right now, and he's riding a modern bike, and it's his first time. So it's kind of fun to watch him riding it. So it's pretty cool to see. But that's hands down the most impressive bike I've seen, especially when you think he took a 48 Panhead from Key West, Florida to Homer, Alaska. That's another thing that just makes me go, damn, that is really, really hauling ass. And he is someone who rides for Mile Monsters. So of course I follow his every move, and Hyde is actually a very good friend of mine as well. So it's really, really cool to see that. But it's a great, great story if you go back and look. And when this is all over, if you get a hold of Hyde, he will gladly talk to you and tell you all about it and the pictures and all that stuff. So I think that's pretty cool. So here's a fun fact. We have 19 women riding just for Mile Monsters. So just in the Mile Monsters, they're riding to raise money for these kids. We have 19 ladies getting after it. And I know each and every one of those ladies for sure. And they're all beast riders who I would ride with any day of the week. So it was pretty great. Let's see. I had to proofread this just to make sure. Someone told me she had to pee out there, told her just keep riding and let it flow. I mean, who's going to know? Well, she's going to know eventually because it's really warm on the inside of your climb. And then, like it's all nice because it's nice and cool where they're at, maybe in northern Michigan. But when they get out to Oklahoma and it's 105 degrees, I think everybody within 15 or 20 bikes behind is going to know that somebody is using their leg as a latrine. So I think that's pretty funny. now I'm just picturing it, like somebody like just letting her buck. So Frosty's doing great. Somebody's asking, Hyde finished in 22. That's right. This is the GOAT. The GOAT is a big fan of the Hyde, and the blue bike he's on right now, after his panhead shit the bed in 22, he bought it on the road, and that's the bike he's riding right now. So he has finished a Hoka on a modern bike. He's never started one on a modern bike until this time. So that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. And here's something right here. Turn my turn moto. So I'm not even sure what that is, but I'm going to check it out and find out. Turn moto. That's pretty cool. I don't know what that is. Somebody have to educate me because I don't know at all. I only think I do. How do you find out where they're heading? There's no way to know for sure. The best way to find out where they're heading is I know the checkpoints. I know where they're heading right now. They're heading to Rhode Island. There's a checkpoint there. And there's a checkpoint in Mississippi. So I know where the checkpoints are. So if the question is where are they going, where are they going to end up? That's not so hard. That they're heading up at the checkpoint in Rhode Island, and the other group is heading to the checkpoint in Mississippi. But if you mean where they're heading, like what road or anything like that, that I don't know. Nobody has any idea. The best way to do it is look at the lead riders and you kind of get an idea. So if you're after Teeter and you want to give him a sign, well, God bless you, because that's very hard to find that lead guy. You're going to have to, if you lived around here, you'd have to shoot up here unless you know him. And he says, yeah, I'm going to be on this road for 50 miles or whatever. And even if you know him, I don't recommend contacting him because their mind is somewhere else. They haven't slept a lot. So, there's that. But if you lived in Scranton right here, you could kind of work your way this way and kind of sit here and watch. And if he goes north, you could bang up there. And that's really the only way. But the other way is if you're a fan of Marky Mark, well, now you just have to watch Ren and D and kind of see where they go exactly. You can kind of zoom in a little bit and mark it and then make that your waypoint. You go to it and cheer them on from there. But you'll see people that come and cheer. In 20, a friend of mine was cheering on a couple different riders, left his house to cheer on the rider that was out front, and rode his bike over an hour to catch him. Catches him, gets a quick high five, a wave, whatever, and then goes back home, only to watch the rider go right in front of his house. And so then when I came by, they had a big sign put up, go right, go. And it was hilarious that he lived in the middle of nowhere in Virginia, in forget the name of the town, but literally out there in no man's land in Virginia. And then, the leader took all these roads, worked their way around, and came right by his house, like literally right in front of his house. So when I came by, the whole family, neighbors, friends, everybody sitting in a lawn chair, making signs for riders as they came by, giving them some high fives and some pointers. So I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. So if you get a chance, give them you know, some encouragement, even if you don't know them. They just, really, really love they get from people, even if you don't know them. It just means a lot. It like hits you like a drug hits you. It just boom, from what I've read, of course, hits you like right good, and it just gives you that boom, instant adrenaline rush of, man, like there's a stranger cheering me on, doing what I'm doing. And then, in our case, these monsters are getting encouragement from kids. So you combine what their purpose of riding for is, your support and your help, and it's just adrenaline can just boom, but boom, boom, all the way to the checkpoint, to the finish line, whatever the case is. And it just helps people's state of mind when you, are down. So that's pretty good. Oh, yeah, it is a circle this year. It is a circle this year. We already know that. We know the starting line at Woodstock, and the finish line is at Woodstock. So if you want to come to the finish line, it's at Woodstock Harley Davidson. They're going to be, you look at 13 days, 12 days. You're going to have to keep watching this, but this has been completed anywhere from 10 days to 14 days is when the party is. So, it's going to be at Woodstock Harley. They're going to have an event there. If anybody wants to cheer their people on, start heading to Woodstock Harley a couple days before they get there, and you're going to be great. So it'll be really good. And there's been nobody to hit an alligator yet. That was the best story from 24, hands down. Somebody hit an alligator and then lost control of the motorcycle a little bit, and the motorcycle headed for the swamp that the gator went to. So God threw a gator in front of him and then threw him into the gator pit. So that was, I don't ever wish to hit anything, but damn, do I wish I would have hit a gator in 24. You're riding in Hurricane Debbie, you hit a gator, and you're on the Hokahay. That's a trifecta. Like, somewhere on my body there's going to be a gator tattoo if I would have been the one to hit a gator, and I would have went back and hunted that sumbitch down and made my vest out of gator skin. So it would have been a great story. I've never been jealous of an animal collision. I've always been like, damn, I'm glad that's not me. But the gator, that's another story. I wished that one. I wished I could have had. That was DJ who hit the gator. Honor Trip just sent that up. So, I mean, that was just such an awesome story. I mean, how many people can tell that they hit a gator? I mean, everybody who rides smacks a deer, and you're like, I hit a deer, and they're like, oh, that sucks, but nobody really gives a shit. You hit a gator, everybody wants to know the story. They're buying you beers, they're sitting next to you. Yeah, I hit a gator. Like, you say that in a bar, a restaurant, church, wherever you are, and you start your story with, how was it? Well, I hit a gator. Everybody's head snaps. Like, wait, you hit what? A gator. I hit a rabbit in 22, and I thought that was plenty of action for me. A big jackrabbit. So deer, gators, shit like that, no thanks. But the gator, I'm a little jealous that somebody got that, and his name wasn't Riot. So that'd be so much fun. As long as you survive it. Like, hit a gator, die, then it's like, oh, poor bastard hit a gator and got killed. So that wouldn't be as fun a story, but I would hope my wife would put a pretty badass gator symbol on my headstone. That would be kind of a fun story. Live forever. But anyhow, that's that. This was just a pop-up show. I had to update that. I'm going to end it by why I started it. If you're late to tuning in, I had to do a show ahead of the noon show because of this right here. Sorry, my mouse is like so fussy. God, everything is like, sorry about this, man. I am just way off base. There we go. There it is. There is Just Matt. He's up there retracing some steps. His was frozen up because he's done a lot since we tuned in, and it had him frozen here for a long time. But he's already been up to Copper Harbor and back down. And if you're just tuning in, last night I highlighted Just Matt heading across I-90, heading west underneath Lake Michigan, and I had no idea why. If his bike was broke down, if he was doing something, but I knew that Just Matt did not do this route correctly. He went right here. This is Houghton, and he went right here and just followed this. The same mistake Teeter and Iceman made, that's what he made, and I knew it. I watched him do it. There's several that did that same thing, and Iceman and Teeter went back, and when they went back, Just Matt passed them. And I remember thinking, man, he better realize that they're going back for something and realize he might want to join them. And he didn't. But he rode all day the next day and then realized he didn't do it and went back and banged that out. So my hat's off to him. It's a lot of integrity to do that and a lot of balls to do it. So it's Just Matt. Man, he's going to be big balls Matt when he gets done with this. So I got some riders off here, no man's land. I'm sure they're broke down problems or they're lost. And I know Iceman's not lost, but I don't know what 1282 is doing. But I could go on all day, but I got to get to Sturgis. My man, Craig, is waiting for me. I do have to give a shout out to a high school friend of mine, Spud. I stayed at a little motel in South Dakota last night, and it was absolutely amazing. There's this really cool Road King right next to my truck, so I felt a little like a sissy for parking my truck next to this cool bike. I walk out of the hotel, and here is a childhood friend standing right at that bike, right next to my truck. I could not believe that somebody that I don't get to see but every 5-10 years is standing right next to my truck. So that was just awesome. Spud's a big time Harley dude. He's going to Sturgis. He's going to ride Beartooth Pass, meeting his kid, doing all kinds of cool shit. So Dennis, super, super happy I found you. And that was really cool to see you. And I thank you for that. And I thank you for the kind words here. It's awesome. I like to answer questions. If I can help somebody understand this better and enjoy the spectating end of it, that's what this is all about, man. I'm not here to help a rider. I'm not here to assist anybody in any manner. I'm just here so people at home who have friends, family, loved ones, whatever the case is, that are out here like Teeter, killing it. I know that his wife is watching and wants to understand a few things. So I'm trying to help the world understand the awesomeness of the Hokay Challenge and take it for what it is. It's a personal challenge for you. You got to dig deep sometimes, and you're going to find things out. And I tell everybody everybody should do it once, just to see how what you got, see if you got what it takes to keep going for that many days, 10, 12, 14 days, 16, 18, 20 days. 20 days sleeping next to your bike, getting up and doing the same thing is a hell of a long time to stay mentally motivated. And that is an incredible group of individuals that can do that. So, when people tap out and quit, then they go home and they feel shitty about themselves for tapping out. They feel shitty about why they had this let a suck moment turn into an oh shit moment. And then they go back and they come back 2 years later, a new person, a new perspective on how they're going to ride and how they're going to do things. And I think that's pretty awesome. So, good luck to all the riders today. If you have your friends and family out there, cheer them on. Send them a text when they get to this checkpoint. Somebody makes a checkpoint, send them a text. Man, that's a damn good job. Congratulations, been watching. You're killing it. nice work, whatever you want to say, because it's impressive and it's awesome. And I could go on and on and on for days and days and days, because it's like I'm turning into a damn junkie. I might have to go to treatment after this. Maybe we could have a 12-step program to tracker myself. So I might start that. We might have a 12-day program after this is over with, where I'll start out with the highlights of it, and then we'll just like dwindle you down to where the last day I'm like, okay, everybody's back to normal now. We're all good. Let's be productive in the world now and stop wasting our boss's money. If I owned a company, I'd be super pissed at the Hoka right now. I'd be trying to get an injunction that they can't have live trackers because there's so many wasted dollars out there at all these businesses. Like, if we kept track of that, we could pay for the riders of the Hoka. But that's a whole nother story. See you at noon. All right. Have a good day. Peace.